actually good. I'm going to record that. Drawing an energetic bubble around yourself. Three-dimensional. It can move forward with you in time. It can move backwards with you in time. But you do not let anything into this bubble that you don't intentionally invite. Everything else can exist outside. You are here for you, as you are, deliciously imperfect. You've shown up to Writer's Circle, and that already makes you an uber badass. Even if you sign off right now. You did the hard thing, which was like, get vertical and log on. So it maybe sounds like I'm teasing, but I actually want you to recognize that that's a lot. And you did good. Deal? Okay. Today, as we move through this 4-part thing, I did a whole session yesterday in another community about this 4-part process, the resting, the planning, the execution, and then reflection and revision. If we can come up with a better word for execution that doesn't sound also like killing something, I'm super open to that, but like the doing.
How about creation?
Thank you. That is so much better than slaughter. Yes. Okay. Okay. So the dreaming, the planning, the creation, and the reflection revision. Following that rhythm today is set aside for creation. We will get to that. One thing that I want to bring, I speak on regularly because I think it needs to be repeated, but how do we celebrate and honor our accomplishments, large and small? We published our 58th book yesterday. It hit #1 in 3 categories in France, which is the language, not that the book is written in, by the way, but just where the author's audience happens to be. So yes, bestseller in 3 categories. I actively struggle to feel like it's a big deal, even though it's a massive deal. Okay. Like I caught a big fish, which would be wild because I never fish, but because I publish on the regular, it doesn't feel like a big deal. So I'm sharing for 2 reasons. One is I never want your process to feel blasé. That's what I'm actively working on. The other is there are so many parts that we don't necessarily recognize the small steps. And so maybe we feel like we're working, but we're not accomplishing anything, or we're not getting where we're going. So the main lesson for what I want to share this morning is, what's your next big or small hurdle? I want you each to think about what is your next little chunk of accomplishment. I want you to share it out loud or share it in the comments. And then how are you going to acknowledge that that's a big deal? How are you going to celebrate it? And when you do the thing, what's the reward? This is super personal. My reward may not match your reward, may not match your accomplishment, nor should it. Does that make sense? Does everybody know what their next? You get to decide. Please don't have it be like publish a book and then be on Oprah. Let's bring it back a couple of notches so that it's between, certainly like this month. Does everybody have a nearby hurdle? Yeah, Leslie.
Okay. I'm gonna finish the rough draft of this book that I've been working on since November 1st, like a crazy woman, but it's pouring out fast
Awesome.
and furiously. And to celebrate, I have my kids coming for the holidays, so we're gonna actually spend some quality time together and enjoy life before it, you know.
Before it spins out.
Mhm.
Do you have one or two not tangible or specific, like, we're gonna play cards, or we're gonna go for a walk without our cell phones, or like something specific that quality time can be
Um,
like checkbox, I did the thing, and you can tell us about it.
yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
I'm dealing with, you know,
Yeah.
20 somethings. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. But I will make it more concrete. And when we do it, let them know that this is why we're doing
Awesome.
this.
Awesome. Okay, that's amazing. That's huge. Perfect example. Thank you.
I can
Elisa.
go.
Yes,
Hola.
please. Hola.
Yeah, so my goal for real will be to finish my shooter first draft for our meeting that I set up with Sierra
Okay.
for the first week of December.
Awesome.
So I want to get to that meeting with that thing
Yeah.
there so that you can give me your feedback or whatever.
Yeah.
And then my award is gonna be, I'm gonna go do a cold plunge or cold
Nice.
bath.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
Great. Good. I love it. I published a book and got myself a mocha because I usually only do an Americano. So like I got milk and chocolate. And that, like, it seems small, but it wasn't, right? Like yesterday, that was my thing. I probably could have enjoyed it a tiny bit more. So that'll be the next time, which is next week when our 59th book comes out. Yeah. Something to look forward to. That part of this is something to look forward to, right? It really should be something that you almost ache for. So I can up my game because I don't usually ache for a mocha. Maybe I need like an extra whip or something to really figure out what it is that feels special. Lanisha, how you doing?
It has been rough.
Girl, I know.
Another cousin died this weekend, a month before his 37th birthday, and we've already lost his dad, my uncle, and his older sister. So my world is plagued right now.
Yeah.
So I haven't done much.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do
And
much.
then this is probably TMI, but I also have nosebleeds, and I haven't had a bad one in 2 years. Of course, yesterday was my day. And so I'm just trying to pace me
Yeah.
right now, and keep my blood pressure low. So I haven't done anything. I do hope
Good.
in the next 2 weeks to get my outline done.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had the mental capacity to, like, outside of doing my work that I get paid for. I haven't had mental capacity to do much. So I'm gonna,
That's amazing. That
yeah,
means you're doing great,
yeah.
right?
And thankfully I'm sleeping well. So I do plan to carve out some space in the next 2 weeks to get that outline done. And how will I reward myself? I do not know.
Okay.
Everything I like, I do all the time. So I smoke weed every day. You know, it might be maybe getting a bottle of champagne instead of a bottle of vodka. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Number one, I love that you do what you want on a regular basis. This is fantastic, and I aspire. The gauntlet I want to throw for you and for me and for all of us is to be listening to those little whispers, the nudges of this would feel, we talked about this, I guess, a month ago, and I was talking with somebody else about it. What feels different? What makes it feel special? Yeah, it was a one-on-one call I was having with someone, and she's like, yeah, we went out for dinner, but we always go out for dinner. It didn't feel special. So it's like, well, you could go out for dinner at a fancy place, or you could have a picnic. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be intense, but it should feel different. Okay. And just mentally, emotionally link. This is the reward for this. Like Leslie was doing, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but I am doing this to honor that. I am taking time and not doing something to honor my grieving period. Fine, right? But sometimes it's as simple as just drawing that mental and emotional line, connecting two things. If that makes sense. So if we don't know what it is that would feel like a reward, I want you just to leave that door open until the answer comes to you. Okay. Because there's a lot of, I'm going to use a hiking metaphor. When you're hiking, got a backpack, probably a couple granola bars and a peanut butter and sandwich in there, right? Got some water, and you see where you're hiking to. And then you get there, and then you see the next place you have to hike to because you can only see so far ahead of you. It's like, when I get there, I'm gonna have a granola bar, but I'm not gonna eat everything because I know that there's another hurdle and another hurdle and another hurdle. But it helps us stay focused on the next task and gives us something to look forward to. So some people are better at rewarding themselves than they are at the effort. Some people are better at the effort than rewarding themselves. And sometimes it wiggles in between. There is not a right way, but I just want to make sure that both of those things are on your radar. Okay. In this context, that all 4 parts of this process are you working on your book. Rest is you working on your book. Planning is you working on your book. The creation part that we're going to spend the rest of the hour on is you working on your book. Reflection is you working on your book. All of it. And so this story of I'm not doing enough also doesn't have to be your story. I'm resting and reflecting and processing something else so that I can clear the space to work on my book. Does that match everybody? We're always working on our books. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always working on my business. Okay. The call I did yesterday was with a group of entrepreneurs, and it was, I promised myself I'm not going to work this weekend, but I failed and I worked this weekend. Okay, no, yeah, you're always going to be working on your business. That's fine. You're always going to be in one way or another in relationship to the story that you're writing, even if you're not actively writing it. You don't fail if you check your email over the weekend. You can rest for 5 minutes. You can work for 5 minutes. There's not a one size fits all. I'm trying to create more and more spaces in this circle for us to be doing the doing, whether it is resting, planning, creating, or revision. Which of those 4 is what you need today?
I'm deep in creation. So
Yes.
that's what I'm doing.
So if I give you 35, 40 minutes today, you can smash out of something?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Zerita?
Yeah, I think me too.
Okay. Good. Lanisha, what would you, I'm gonna gift us 40 minutes. We thought we were gonna be on this call and talking the whole time. I'll be on the call and I'll check in at the end. But with this next 35 minutes, what do you need?
I could probably start figuring out an outline.
Okay.
At least
If
jotting
it
a
feels
couple
good to,
thoughts down.
yeah. Napkin size, Post-it size, chip away at something. Okay. Does anybody need anything or have any questions? Anything that you showed up to this call sort of aching for before I set us free to do the doing? Okay. I'm gonna turn off my video. I'm gonna turn off my audio. But if you have a question that comes up in the process, just message me and I will come back on. Other than that, I want to give us 35 minutes. And we'll come back and just check in, see how it goes, see if you have anything else that you need before the end of the hour. Deal? Great. Have fun. See you later. So quick check-in, how did it go? What did you accomplish? How do you feel?
I can start.
Yes, please.
Well, let me see. So it's not that I finished my first draft, it's that each chapter has something in it to work
Great.
on, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me see what the introduction could look like. And
Mhm.
that's what I was looking at right now.
Great.
And I'm loving it. I don't know, maybe you'll rip it apart when time comes, but
Both can
I'm
be
like,
true.
oh my God,
Absolutely,
this is
that's
so
fantastic.
beautiful. Oh my God.
Yes.
And then, well, I don't know if we want to address that right now, but I do have a question that I wrote in the
I
chat.
see it. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to answer it right now or you want everyone to talk and then we'll
Yeah, let's
circle
have
back.
everybody talk and then don't let me sneak away without answering.
Perfect.
Who's next?
Did some mind mapping and just wrote some stuff down and went back to your website and looked at the course material and relooked at the handbook.
Mhm.
I am like at a blank. It's so weird. And I write all the
Okay.
time.
That's okay.
And I got nothing. But I wrote some stuff down. So we'll see what happens with that over the next week.
You weren't here last week, but I admitted that on my writer's retreat the week before, I just retreated. I didn't write. And I fought it for a long time. And then I was just like, you know what? Fighting it's not getting me anywhere. So I'm just going to relax into it. It comes and goes. If writing ever feels like trying to squeeze a pimple, just don't. It'll come out when it's ready. There's a point where like we can't just sit around and wait for the muse to tap us. But there's a point where we're like, I'm writing. It's not right. And so playing in the in-between is okay. Recognizing what the two extremes are, not spending too much time in either. That's okay. The stuff that comes out when I push real hard isn't great anyway. Leslie?
I wrote probably like 1,400 words on my book, so I'm over almost 21,000 words so far this month. So I've got it completely outlined every chapter as
Yeah.
far as that goes, and I'm kind of
That
adding a little bit.
helps.
It
Channel
really
it.
helps to keep me going and I'm trying not to dwell on language and just kind of keep the content pure, and I'll go back look at it
Yeah.
December 1st,
Amazing.
but it feels good because I was on, I had a surgery in March and I was on bed rest for months, and I was like, oh, this is my time to finish my books and write everything, and I did zero. I didn't even read any. I read a pamphlet maybe, it was
Right.
awful. So it's nice to be kind of coming back to being able to put words down again.
I love it. Great. Deep breath. All right. We've had an hour. You took some time for yourself. You took some time for your process. You can call it writing, but let's call it your process because there's a lot more that goes into it than just writing. Between now and next week, I want you to be recognizing your relationship with reward and accomplishment. That's it. Show up as you can. Recognize what showing up looks like. It can be 5 minutes. Letting the shower run for 5 extra minutes while you're in there thinking about a part of it. There is not one right way, and there are no wrong ways to make progress on this. Okay. Even figuring out what celebration looks like for your next hurdle is progress. So, congratulations to each of you for saying yes to this journey in the first place, and then to showing up for today. That's a lot. Does it feel like a lot? We recognize that it's actually a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. You're badass. Right? Okay, I was about to wrap up and not answer Jalitza's question. So what should come after the final chapter? Do you have a conclusion?
So yes, that's the question. I know there is something after,
Yeah,
like,
there's a,
okay. So
the
does,
intro and the conclusion I always write last.
okay, but it's, should I have it, or should I have something regarding the conclusion for the
You
first
should have
meeting?
something. Because if you
perfect.
don't have something, I can tell you exactly what your developmental editor is gonna say is, there's not a conclusion. It feels like you're leaving your reader hanging. So
Okay.
don't leave the reader hanging. Echo whatever the intro has of like, in the intro, we said we were gonna do this. We set out to do this, this, and this. Now that we've done this, this, and this, you're more prepared to accomplish whatever, or feel whatever, or observe whatever. Next steps beyond this would be blah. Right? It can be 3 paragraphs.
Perfect.
It doesn't have to be long. Start with just something, even if it's the question to yourself, what is the conclusion? What are they supposed to do now? Are they supposed to reach out to me? Should they email me? Should they have, had this revelatory experience, lost 30 pounds? What?
You could have like a CTA.
Absolutely.
That's a
I'm reading a
possibility.
book.
Okay.
I'm reading a book right now that had a CTA
Mhm.
at the end of the first chapter.
Okay.
It said, email me, subject line, this. Drawing a line in the sand. Do you know what happened? This guy's automated team wrote me back and I felt special. Okay, and then they sent me some free stuff and I felt special. You can have a CTA 3 times throughout your book. Okay.
Writing it down. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're telling a story, but above that, it's, do you want to build a relationship with your reader? Do you want their email address? Do you want them to follow your social media? What do you want? How do you want to engage with them? How do you want to support them? How do you want them? This is the question I always ask it. It's a layover from being a teacher, and then I will wrap us up. I was a teacher for 15 years. And every year we sat down and made the curriculum, and the question for every unit, for the whole year, for every lesson, what do you want them to be able to know, feel, think, what was like, yeah, to know or be able to do. So as you're talking to your reader, what do you want them to feel, think, or be able to do at each step? And then high level. That's a really great question to be asking yourself, to make sure that your outline fits, to make sure that you're chewing in the right place. And it also helps the beginning of every chapter. In this chapter, we're going to accomplish this. By the end of this chapter, you'll be able to know or be able to. And then at the end of the chapter, great, we learned this, this, and this. Now, here's where you go next. It's those things really help you guide your reader so that you say what you came to say, but it also really helps as the reader. Like, I can't remember which chapter, but it was like, learn the methodology, implement the methodology, chapter 6, putting this into motion. What are we going to do in chapter 6? Well, we're not just going to make it theoretical, we're going to make it damn straight. Okay. I know what I'm doing here. It makes it a no-brainer. I think sometimes when we're writing, either we don't know, we don't make it simple, or we try to make it mysterious because it makes it feel like we're smart. Don't make it mysterious. Take the sexiness way out, especially in the first draft. We can make it fun later. Make it functional first. I hope that helps. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay. Have a beautiful week. Share in the community if anybody needs anything, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.